Good to have Shabbos, everyone. Parshas Tazria, first Shabbos in the month of Nisan. So last week we spoke about the month of miracles and the month of redemption and the number 8. This week we're also talking about the month of miracles and the month of redemption and the number 8. This week starts off the Parsha Isha Ki Tazria, V'yolda Zachar, and it says, B'yom HaShmini, on the 8th day, Yimal B'sar Arlasa, he should have a circumcision. The Alter Rebbe talks at length in this week's Likutei Torah about the power of number 8, and we know that the halacha is that even if the 8th day falls out on Shabbos, when traditionally you can't just make a cut on a person to draw blood on Shabbos, but Mila, the bris Mila circumcision, overrides the laws of Shabbos if it's bisman, if it's on its time. So the Alter Rebbe talks about the power of the number 8 connected to Mila, to circumcision, even more powerful than, like we said last week, the idea of Shabbos, which is the completion of the week, the completion of the elevation of the laws of nature within the system of creation. And the number 8 goes beyond that. It's beyond it's beyond the laws of nature, beyond the system of nature that penetrates the number 8. That's why it's connected with the number of Mashiach. And last week we spoke about that the 8th day was the day of the revelation of the dedication of the tabernacle of the Mishkan. So there was the concept of 8, which expressed itself in the revelation of Hashem in the space of the world. The Beis Hamikdash is in the makom, in space. Circumcision is also the power of 8, but it's permeated in the goof, in the body of the person, that the person themselves becomes a number 8. When Hashem gave the mitzvahs, and specifically the mitzvah of Mila, Hashem said, I've chosen you from all of the nations, and I elevate you from all the languages. You've been elevated from a person that's connected to nature and limited to nature, to now be a person that's connected to the number 8, that's connected to the ideas beyond nature. And that becomes part of who you are, part of your body. It's not something it's a symbolize, a siman. A bris, circumcision, is an ois, is a sign of that's who I am as a person. And just like the idea of miracles that we spoke about last week is the idea of bringing back the higher energy into the world, the idea of miracles in a person which is connected to the number 8 is to bring the idea of a miracle in our avodah, in our life, in our attitude, and in how we view the world. Like we said, that the world was created on the month of Tishrei. Tishrei is all about laws of nature. Nisan is the Chodesh HaGeula. God chose that there should be redemption, there should be miracles, things out of the space of the limitations. Teva is from the word Toveya. It means it's sunk in. Like it says, Tavu ba'aretz sha'areh, the gates of Jerusalem sunk into the ground. Something that's concealed, you can't see it. You don't see God's hand within the laws of nature. A miracle is beyond. It's it's totally opposite. The word from the word nes, something that's high up, like a flag that stands on top of a mountain. It screams out that there's a God in this world and there's no limitations. So when a Jew comes into the month of Nisan, we draw the energy, and especially comes Parshas Tazria when we connect to the number 8, that's beyond the limitations, beyond the number 7, which is the completion of nature. We know that now that our avodah, that when we approach anything, it's in a miraculous way. We don't limit ourselves to Nisim. Our whole approach. We don't limit ourselves to Teva, to nature. Our whole approach to every situation that we look at, in both in Avod, in our service of Hashem, and both in the complications of our life, and both the complications what's happening out in the world, is we have a perspective of the number 8. We have a perspective of the concept of miracles. That just like there's no limitations for Hashem, so too there's no limitations what a Jew can achieve. And when we have this attitude, this approach, then we approach every situation. Let's say that how does the person who's a miracle person look at such a situation? That's the derech, that's the path that we take. And the Rebbe concludes it's a beautiful sikh of 1989. The Rebbe concludes that's not just that you become a person that's a miracle person that's living out of nature, but that becomes your nature. The idea of teva, which we say is toiveya, to sink in, that the walls sink into the ground. Oretz, which is the place of the world, not in some miraculous sphere, some miraculous world that's outside of space. In Oretz, in this land, we sink in the concept of miracles, that our teva, our nature, is a nature of miracles. And therefore, whatever we face in our challenges in our avodas Hashem, pushing ourselves, every time we look at a situation, we say, how could we maximize? How could I be the best person in every situation? How could I learn the best? How could I give the best? How could I be part of a situation of Torah mitzvahs the best? How could I have an approach to life in the maximum that I can do? So too, when we look at the world in general, and especially now with all the threats that are happening to Bnei Yisrael, now as I speak right now, we know that we're people of miracles. We're people of we're a holy people. You're mamlechas kohanim v'goy kodesh, a holy people. And Hashem is shomer hina le'yonim v'la'ishin shomer Yisrael, God who watch over us. He's going to perform miracles like He did Aren and Eflois. He's going to show wonders. With the coming of Mashiach, Meher v'Yameinu, good Shabbos.